Alright, welcome back to Lenz's Comic Corner Classics, Non-Classics. This is episode number 1713 and Doubleshot number 1607. Now, this is the only video I'm going to do tonight because I don't much not do any more videos tonight, so excuse me. I probably have a lot more videos coming tomorrow, so yeah, I think overall I have like 5 comic corners ready to go, which is that basically gotten so late now I just can't do any more. So probably expect tomorrow 4 comic corners and 2 animated videos. So roughly about 6 videos overall tomorrow. Might be more if I get done this 3rd book for So I'm a Spider. So what? Yep. All right. First, we're going to talk about. Let me first adjust this here. Not sure why it's like that, but okay. Alright, so the first we'll talk about is Black Panther by Reginald, Holland, the complete collection, book 2. This collects Black Panther, volume 4, issues 19 to 34, and the annual. Yes, 19 to, I think it's like 22, I think it is. 25, yeah, 1925. Most of these issues here are, in fact, the Civil War 1 tie-in for this book. Yes. I should point out, though, throughout this entire run, there were only 2 crossovers this actually tied into. Yes, it was part of the crossover with X-Men, but that was basically a crossover with that book. But as for a company crossover, this book was only part of 2. Civil War 1 was the first one. The second one was Secret Invasion. Most of the World Tour issues, it's input Black Panther and his new smoking hot wife, Storm, going to various people to ask for allegiance, whatever. Where do they stand? The first place they go to is, and this is a shocker, they go to Latveria. Talk Dr. Doom briefly, get into a fight, and of course Black Panther's like, when he sees that he's talking to a robot, like, screw this, I'm not talking to her. I want to talk to the real doctor. I want to talk to a freaking robot. Of course, he also talked Namor with that. Basically, it was actually a good conversation there. He also gets a chance to talk to Black Bolt. He actually goes to the freaking moon. He even gets a brief fight with some of the Inhumans on the moon. Though Gorgon is the one who basically instigated this, and he gets chastised for it. Yep. Now, the artwork for these issues, for the World Tour issues, that's done by Scott Eaton. Yes. Let's see. Scott Eaton, who does issue 19. The rest is done by Miguel Garcia. War Crimes, which is the Civil War 1 tie-in, that's mostly done by Koito and Marcus 2. Francis Porta does the 26 to 30 issues, 2+2, and For the Hard Way, and Little Green Men, which is a 4-parter. That's done also by Francis Porta, and Black Panther Annual is basically called Black to the Future, done by art by Ken Lashley and Larry Stroman. Plus, I love the way that the artist draws Storm. Makes her smoking hot. Yeah, because she is hot. She's one of the hottest ones in the Marvel Universe. Oh yeah, and one thing I am particularly not really a big fan of is basically, we have to keep cuts to the Pentagon for reasons. Let's follow around Black Panther and Storm on their honeymoon. Like I said, first place to go to, Latveria. Yep, and they're here for like 1 issue. Yep, 1 issue. And then the very next issue, they go to the moon. Because at this point in time, the reason why the humans are on the moon is actually quite interesting. They say the reason why in book because they can't stand the toxic atmosphere of the Earth. It becomes so polluted that they can't live there anymore. So they move to the blue area of the moon. What is the blue area of the moon, you might ask? It's basically a small area, roughly about 3 miles, on the moon that actually has its own atmosphere. And here's the thing, though. You're probably thinking, okay, what's in the blue area aside from the humans, their city? The Watcher's home. Yep, the Watcher. Surprisingly, despite the fact that it goes to the moon in this issue, there is, no mention of the Watcher, which I thought was kind of weird. There's mention here about the Illuminati. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's only here for 1 issue. And surprisingly, I'm thinking like, okay, they're on Blue and the Moon and no Watcher. I thought that was kind of weird. 21 is basically them going to Atlantis. This actually is a much more better written issue because it clearly is realizing that Reginald Holland does like writing Namor. He writes it really well, and surprisingly, I'm surprised he never wrote an ongoing series for Namor. If you're curious though, did Namor have a book prior to this? The answer is no. Well, technically, yes. He did have one published in 2003. It was a limited series simply called Namor. He did have a couple. Series after this one. One was part of the Civil War: The Initiative, which was a 6-issue miniseries, which was the second volume of a Submariner comic. That revealed Namor had a son who was actually evil, and he died at the destruction of Atlantis. And then there was the Namor the First Mutant ongoing series, which actually was pretty good. It didn't last very long. Like I said, 11 issues. Oh, by the way, Namor thing in here is brings up Namor, Black Panther's grandfather. Yeah, that's something that's actually kind of explored in the pages of Captain America Black Panther Flags and Fathers. He even references the events of Wolverine, which was the Civil War 1 tie-in for that one, where he goes after Neutro. And then, of course, basically 22. Goes to the U.S., goes visit the X-Men. And apparently, Storm was not consulted about this. Apparently, the X-Men... Now, here's something interesting, though. The X-Men have stupidly decided to remain neutral in this event. Why in the world they decided to remain neutral? Unknown. It's... as far as I can tell, there has been no explained reason why they were neutral. They had a mini-series that explored basically what they were doing in Civil War 1. It was mostly with 198. Basically, that was the rumored to be at the time the remaining mutants who actually had powers. Because at the time these issues came out, a little bit a year since House of M. Yes. And we also have Kitty Pryde Phase to the Floor. Oh yeah, and here's some dumb crap happens here. So, Black Panther's free to be the president, no problem, but not his beautiful wife. Oh no. She has to register. And Black Panther points out, registration forms, the president can't meet you, Miss Monroe is signing the forms. Queen Oro of Aquana is the head of state, subject to diplomatic immunity. If you don't make the Saudi royalty pay parking tickets, then you shouldn't shove these ridiculous forms into place. Okay, I'm not sure Reginald Holland's poking fun at diplomatic immunity, but yes, that is definitely true. Yeah, the whole thing about the Saudis not paying parking tickets, that's probably true. So basically, they argue about it, and he figures out, oh yeah, Tony Stark's probably watching this, and basically is just really wants Storm to register, despite the fact that she actually has diplomatic immunity. She is not required to register, so Black Panther's like, screw this, we're leaving. Because apparently he can't fly, so he gets grabbed by a car. And then Iron Man basically has his people trying to save a child from protesters. And instead, S.H.I.E.L.D. stupidly tries to get into conflict with freaking Black Panther. Yep, and that leads into the stuff related to Civil War 1. Oh yeah, and here's something really dumb. Yeah, Link Card brought this up. You see, in Civil War 1, number 4, where there was a fight at a Stark power plant, which, of course, it was the whole thing was a fire at this power plant, and Captain America Resistance Group was going to basically help out, basically proper heroes. Until he found out this was a trap set by Tony Stark in order to trap the unregistered superheroes. And during the fighting, Bill Foster gets into a fight with the clone of Thor. Yes. Oh boy, this thing. Created by Iron Man, Reed Richards, and Hank Pym. By the way, Hank Pym was retconned 2 years after this to be a freaking Skrull during this period of time. Yes, Hank Pym. A character created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby was retconned, probably the retcon to explain how much of bullcrap, basically how Mark Millar wrote him in the book. Yes, seriously. Yeah, during the event, Bill Foster fights the clone of Thor, and the Thor clone kills him. And then stupidly, really stupidly, and I'm so glad the car pointed this out for his review, after they killed Bill Foster, they did this to him. Put him in freaking tarp and chains. I'm like, wow, that is so stupid. You couldn't like shrink him down. You have Hank Pym working for you, and you don't bother to do anything with that. Looking at Black Panther is actually like, hey, I'll take care of it. I'll bear him a condom, no problem. And Bill Foster's family is like, that's a pretty good idea. Because they won't bear him in the country. They practically murdered their child. Yeah. Now, Bill Foster has a nephew here who actually, and of course you have this whole thing of this people in the White House basically are all white, and they all don't like Black Panther very much. Not really. So then, basically, also for some reason, I'm not really sure of why in the world this is. Now, the cover art for this book is actually really good. The interior artwork is not that good. Oh boy, this is done by Kurt Tobel. My gosh, this artwork is bad. Yes. Look at this pose. Like, why the heck would Black Panther do this? Like, oh, let's have him and his beautiful wife jump down. Let's also have Black Panther be a freaking bodybuilder. For, like, no reason. And, of course, the guy with us like, dearest, like, whole thing was going on there. And, yeah, he's staying in the embassy. Yeah, then Black Panther gets into a fight with, well, Iron Man. And more really bad artwork. It's a good thing, too, this artist has not stayed for long. Though, basically, Natasha Romanoff is drawn really good. But my gosh, Black Panther, the star of the series, is drawn really bad. And if you're curious, though, this guy's only here for 2 issues. Yep, he's only here for 2 issues, and that's it. Yeah, and after this guy's gone. I guess some people must have realized, though, yeah, this artwork is bad. Oh my gosh. Look how he draws Captain America. The suit looks okay. My gosh, the face looks terrible. Yes, by far one of the worst artists I've ever seen when it comes to faces. Yep, and then we have the thing that a lot of people hate about Civil War 1, aside from the heroes fighting each other. There he is, the clone of Thor, who was later renamed to Ragnarok. Yeah. Yeah, and then of course Tony starts to call up Black Panther, like, Tony Stark for the Black Panther. And someone in the image is like, I'm sorry, he's not able to take a he's available. Like, can I take a message? Is he there? Do you message him? What about Storm? Queen Hold. And Storm's like, what is this, Stark? We need to talk. We're talking right now. Don't be like that. Be like what? You mean like treat me like a man who can put aside political differences as long as to attend my wedding? Treating you like a man who attacked my husband just because we play your political games? That was after your bodyguards attacked Jim Rhodes. They attacked a sentinel who was attacking their king while he was protecting a child. Am I supposed to have sympathy for a sentinel? Yes. Okay, I like the way that he wrote that because the thing is, sentinels have been trying to murder her for decades. And they failed miserably. Here's Stark's response to that. That was some mutant hunting robot. And it had a human being inside. Okay, there is an explanation for that because after an event's examination, the one agency, Office of National Emergency, sent a series of human-piloted sentinels to the Xavier Institute to be their bodyguards, to protect them. That lasted for about 2 years. Until the events of Messiah Complex, where a virus got into the Sentinels, killed the pilots, and, of course, they had to destroy the frickin' Sentinels. Also, the Sentinels destroyed the Xavier Institute. This was in 2018, mind you. This was in, not 2018, 2008. Roughly 14 years ago. Yes, seriously. And Tony Stark is like, oh yeah, come on, like, you being, like, tech are being expelled immediately. Then they would stand trial. Then if you protect your president's life while visiting Latveria, would you expect some treatment? Can we sit down and talk like civilized people? Civilized? I'm sure Bill Foss's family would question your qualifications there. The card needs to be, keep threatening me, please. Now step off my land. This is Wakandan property. And she sends up a thunderstorm to spook him off. Yes, Storm can do this. Don't make a woman who's known as a weather witch basically angry, because she will kill you with lightning. And then Stark tells the bodyguard, you have video reference of bodyguards. If you see them, grab them. Do not use lethal force. I do our best, sir. You do exactly what I said. Yes, sir. And, sir, yes, if the Panther shows up, you never know. He's too good. Which is true, because Black Panther is a freaking badass. Yep. So then we have Black Panther sparring with Captain America. Some part of persistence. And, of course, we have Brother Voodoo. This is before he became Dr. Voodoo. He became Dr. Voodoo in, I believe it was like 2010. And he had a brief ongoing series. And, of course, you have this conversation between... Now, one thing I should point... Here's basically Tigra. Drawn by the artist. This is issue number... I think this is issue 25, if I'm not mistaken. This is 24. This is how his artist draws Tigra. It looks a bit lazy of how he draws Tigra. Yeah, it looks a bit lazy. Makes her sexy. Yes. But it looks a bit lazy, especially with the coloring. Mm-hmm. And, of course, lucky enough that Tigra basically briefly talks to him. Yeah, as far as I can tell, they never interacted prior to this, and you have Stormy with her family in New Jersey, of all things. And then you have Black Panther talking to Monica Rambeau, the former Captain Marvel, Proton. I think she's currently on a Spectre. I think at this point she's basically just Monica Rambeau. You have stuff related to... You have this guy becoming a complete idiot who dares call the God of Thunder a myth. He's like, I'm no myth. Yeah. This guy questioning the existence of the God of Thunder when you have a guy who can shoot webs out of his fingers. You're standing next to a guy who can stretch his body. You have a Rocky Hard monster. You have a beautiful woman who can turn invisible. You have a guy who can set us on fire. How is the God of Thunder unbelievable? I wonder why basically he's an idiot. Yeah, it's weird though. Reginald writes the non-Marvel regulars as idiots. Like complete buffoons. And then you have Reed and Storm talking registration. This is a pretty good conversation. Yep. And then we have this last issue just take place during Civil War number 7. And then we have, oh crap, it's a Thor clone. Shows up. Storm fights it briefly. And Tony Stark does something really, really stupid. What does he do? He destroys Wakandan embassy. Yes. Oh boy, that probably got him a lot of hate mail. Yeah, and then Storm's like, after Storm fighting the God of Thunder for a while, the fake one, and Storm's like, and he have Sue Storm like, you're my husband's abomination, I'm about to abort you. And they fight for a bit, and then Hercules is like, can I cut in? And then off panel, he proceeds to beat the living crap out of the fake God of Thunder. He even takes his hammer and smashes his head with it. And by the way, this happens in Civil War number 7, which it's complete justified how much really stupid this guy character is. Yep. And by the way, if you're curious though, this is something really dumb. They revived him in the pages of Vineyard's Initiative where he killed a couple of clones of a character named Michael Von Patrick. By the way, his initials are MVP. He killed one of the Scarlet Spider clones, and then he showed up in Siege. We got killed by Thor, and then he got somehow reactivated after Fear itself became part of the Dark Avengers, which I thought that was kind of weird. His last appearance to date was actually in the pages of Dark Avengers number 190. Yes. And then you have 26 to 28. Yeah, this is simply put basically 2 plus 2. Yeah, this is basically the issues of Black Panther and Storm when they join up with the Fantastic Four. for a few issues. Yep, they're here for just a few issues. We basically have sort of a before happened pages of Fantastic Four. I think it was issue 500. I think it was like 43. I think it was. Basically, it was over dinner, and that's when they introduced it. This kind of takes place during that. And so they temporarily become part of Fantastic Four. And what do? They deal with Solomon's Frogs. Yes, seriously, that's what they do. Also, these issues have the return of the Marvel Zombies. Yep. The return of the Marvel Zombies for a few issues. Yep. And here they are, the original Marvel Zombies. Yep. They have Johnny still running into his ex-wife, Legia. Despite being a Skrull, she's a beautiful woman. Yep, and after dealing with these guys for a few issues. Yeah, it's all over the Solomon's Frog stuff. Yes, seriously. That's literally what this is over. The Solomon's Frogs, which is something from the pages of Black Panther. And then afterwards, for the next few issues, they just go to another dimension where you have Black Panther dreaming, where he's in a reality where Storm is like ruling Wakanda, and then he sort of wakes up, and basically, yeah, and it's all controlled by Dr. Psycho, and then you have like where you talked about Dissect Storm, and then you have Black Panther's dead father, the one who was killed by Liz's causes, leave my daughter-in-law alone. And Storm was like, T'Chaka, or aren't you dead? No. He is. Amadea. Yep. And then of course, basically, Storm finds out, wait, well, who are you? You think all Black Panthers are male? Well, that's indeed true because because Shara became briefly Black Panther. And they get free from the whole thing with Psycho Man and Solomon's Frogs. Oh, by the way, later on, basically, Storm is like, well, I met your family, now you gotta make mine. And then you have them go to another world where apparently Skrulls apparently act like gangsters from 1920s. Yeah. I don't know when this happened, but this is kind of hilarious. Yeah, last week's 2 issues, but just really good here. Yeah. Fun stuff here with these issues. Yeah, this whole future stuff with the annual, but that's simply it. This is by far really good stuff. Reginald Holland does a great job with this book. I would give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Just that damn good. Alright, next up it is a book that is really thin. It's a trade that collects only 4 issues. This is Venom versus Carnage! Yep, written by Peter Milligan and artwork by Clayton Crane. Yep. Here's a little fun fact about this miniseries. This is the first appearance of the character Toxin, the spawn of Carnage. Yep, this miniseries makes his debut. Also, his first host makes his first appearance here. And the events of this miniseries leads into the Toxin miniseries. No, seriously, that's what it does. It's mostly put a lot of the series just having Carnage and Venom fight each other. And by the way, Spider-Man's barely a factor in this miniseries. And also, apparently, the way that Peter Milligan writes Black Cat, who appears in the miniseries. By the way, that's how Clayton Crane draws Black Cat. Like, wow. Wow, smoking hot Black Cat, which is very sexy. By the way, in case you're curious, though, at the time these issues came out, was she wearing an outfit like this? Not really, no, but man, Clayton Crane, yeah. I love this guy's artwork. It is so freaking good. One of 3 miniseries he works on for Marvel where he basically is the artist for Carnage. The other is a Carnage miniseries, Carnage Family Feud, and I think it was Carnage USA. And here's his artwork. Yeah, the way he draws Carnage is kind of weird. Yeah. But mostly put, the best thing about this series is that it's the debut of Toxin. That's the only reason people would probably get this one. Because this is where Toxin first shows up. The original version of him anyways. But that's mostly what the story is. Just debut of Toxin and of course Venom and Carnage fighting each other. Yeah, and of course you have Spider-Man appears in here too, but he's not really a big player. It's more, and apparently the way it's written though, apparently Black Cat apparently forgot she's met Venom for some reason. Yeah, I think this is kind of weird. But here's the thing, she has met him before. The first time they met was actually an issue drawn by Todd McFarlane, the guy who created Venom. That's the first time they met. Of course, she didn't know. She thought it was Peter. She did not know that was Eddie Brock, and the fact that he basically beat the crap out of her. Yes, seriously. And apparently, Peter Mulligan forgot that. I'm not really sure why. But, pretty fun miniseries. Not very long. It's only 4 issues. Yep, I'm going to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Yep. If I say Clayton Crane again, I'm going to sign that plus the series Riot, which actually that was his last comic book that he did interiors for. Oh, in case you're curious though, the Black Panther issues, I think those issues came out from like, I think it was like 07 to about 08. Let's see, I think so. Yeah, it was like 07, 08. In the case of Venom versus Carnage, let me look it up on here. This will take just a minute to do. Okay, the miniseries came out in 2004. And the guy who was the original host of Toxin, his name's Patrick Milligan. Yep. He becomes Toxin with issue number 2. Isn't it weird, though, that basically Peter Milligan named the character after himself? Which, isn't that kind of weird, the fact he did that? Yeah, I'm not really sure why in the world that is. It's kind of weird. And even though Toxin is technically the offspring of Carnage, yeah, as far as I can tell, for the Toxin symbiote, I mean, you could thank Clayton Crane for creating this character. And it's kind of like, okay. So I'm not really sure exactly why this character didn't appear very much. Yeah, he appears in his miniseries, his own miniseries, an issue of Mighty Avengers, one issue of Carnage USA. Well, the symbiote itself was a recurring character, Rick Remender and Colin Bunn's run for Venom. One issue of Guardians of the Galaxy. The second one for Carnage because of Eddie Brock. And after that, it didn't pop up again until King in Black, Planet of the Symbiotes number 3, and then it returned for Extreme Carnage, and that is it for the character. Well, at least for the case of the symbiote itself. So all that's left to cover for the Toxin is just Toxin, Carnage USA, and King in Black, Planet of the Symbiotes. Yeah. Oh, by the way, they even asked the obvious question, like, who's mother? And Carnage's like, it doesn't work that way. Biology doesn't work that way. Yeah. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for the circular view. Stay tuned for tomorrow from possibly many videos. Okay? Next video. Bye.